Insurance isn't one size fits all, and shopping for it shouldn't feel like squeezing into something that just doesn't fit. That's why drivers have enjoyed Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years. With the Name Your Price tool, you tell them what you want to pay, and they show you options that fit your budget. Enough hunting for discounts, trying to calculate rates, and tinkering with coverages. Maybe you're picking out your very first policy, or maybe you're just looking for something that works better for you and your family. Either way, they make it simple to see your options. No guesswork, no surprises. Ready to see how easy and fun shopping for car insurance can be? Visit Progressive.com and give the Name Your Price tool a try. Take the stress out of shopping and find coverage that fits your life, on your terms. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
This summer, Prime Video takes you back before Legally Blonde, before law school, and into the world of Elle Woods in high school. Set in 1995, this Gemini vegetarian knows exactly who she is until her family moves from Bel Air to Seattle. Packed with iconic fashion, 90s nostalgia, and a throwback soundtrack, Elle proves one thing. Law school was hard. High school was harder. From the world of Legally Blonde, watch Elle, a new original series only on Prime Video. Watch now.
Hi, I'm Jeffrey Craner, and my friend Cecil Baldwin loves horror movies, and he's helping make this genre more approachable for me and hopefully for you too, one film at a time, in a random order. Are you squeamish about horror movies? Don't worry, we will tell you what happens. Adore horror movies? Great! Watch along with us each week. As always, check the show notes for content warnings about this week's episode discussion and film. This week we randomly rolled a 3 for Wild Card and a 2 for The Blank. Here is episode 332.
Top number generation. Podcast number 9.
This week on Random Number Generator, horror podcast number 9, The Others, 2001. Warning! Spoilers ahead.
Mondegreen is a word meaning a misunderstood song lyric. We all have them. We all have mondegreens, like Jimi Hendrix singing "Excuse Me While I Kiss This Guy," but it's supposed to be "Kiss the Sky." That's probably the most famous mondegreen there is. There's also Dobie Gray, and I think later Uncle Kracker singing "Give Me the Beat Boys and Free My Soul," but many people, including myself, thought it was "Give Me the Beach Boys and Free My Soul." I want to get lost in your rock and roll. One of the funniest I ever heard was someone once told me that they always heard as a kid the song "I'm Every Woman" as "I'm at a Walmart." I think a lot of our mondegreens are just from childhood. Like as a kid, you're not really exploring the lyrics and you're so creative and you're just kind of rolling with it. And that's just kind of how it goes. Like as a kid, when I heard the Eagles' Hotel California, I heard them singing "Mirrors on the Ceiling, Pictures of Jim Rice." I was a Red Sox fan in the 80s, and Jim Rice was an incredible left fielder, and I thought, why wouldn't people have pictures of Jim Rice in their amazing hotel room? Another mondegreen I had as a kid was from Juice Newton's "Angel of the Morning." This is some 1981 pop country shit here, but Juice was really good at it. Anyway, the chorus goes, "Just call me angel of the morning, angel. Just touch my cheek before you leave me." Anyways, I, for many, many years as a kid, sang that as "Just brush my teeth before you leave me, baby." And as I got older, I started actually thinking about it and then just imagining this lovely woman in bed and her lover getting up, going off to work, and then lover bending down over this gorgeous angel in the morning sunlight and giving her the full Colgate Plus treatment. Yeah, just really make sure you get those molars, Casanova. I don't really have a deeper point to any of this intro other than mondegreens are funny and earworms to a point are fun. But while watching this week's movie, The Others, Anne tells the ghost boy, quote, "Ghost boy Victor," to touch her brother's cheek so that he knows he's real. And my brain immediately kicked in with Juice Newton wailing on that song. "Just brush my teeth before you leave me." Hi, Cecil.
Hi, Jeffrey.
Do you have a favorite mondegreen?
I feel bad because this one isn't mine, but this has been my favorite Mondegreen since I was a teenager. It was a friend of mine I went to high school with, and in the song Fame, Fame, I'm going to live forever. I'm going to learn how to fly. Hi. Baby, remember my name. Remember, remember, remember. Mm-hmm. But my friend Nikki thought they were saying, baby, remember my name. Ouija-fa, Ouija-fa, Ouija-fa. Which she knew was not a word.
No.
But she didn't understand why they were saying nonsense words. But to this day,
Ouija-fa?
I'm like, Ouija-fa. Baby, remember my name. Ouija-fa, Ouija-fa, Ouija-fa.
To be fair, just so many pop songs have nonsense words.
Right?
Like Spice Girls Wannabe. I really, really want to zig a zig zug. Yeah. Michael Jackson, Shamone. Like, what are we doing? What's happening?
I do remember I was in a karaoke bar when I was like 22, and I made my friend put on a Michael Jackson song. I think it was Bad, because I'm like, I don't actually know what he's saying in this song. Can you sing? Because I don't sing. Can you sing this song so I can actually see the lyrics written out, please? And they were not what I thought they were.
You know, I don't think that's a song I've ever gone back and looked at the lyrics. Michael Jackson was one of those people that I just kind of gave up on even trying to understand what he was saying. The song's just it's kind of like Elton John a little bit. Like, I don't really know what you're talking about.
Elton John can get there a little bit.
Your song's really bop, so I'm just going to vibe with that.
Yeah.
Anyways, Juice Newton is an odd soundtrack for this film. And it just ended up being an earworm for me throughout the rest of this movie. And anytime I got up. But it was really lovely to revisit the others. I haven't seen this in a bit.
Yeah, me neither. I really love this movie. This, to me, like, Nicole Kidman is peak in this movie. Like, the tendril of, like, single blonde curl that's constantly in her face. She has never looked more glamorous. And she did this right off of Moulin Rouge. So she's like, and this is the last collaboration that she did with Tom Cruise, who is a producer on this film. So she's like moments away from being liberated from her Scientology contract.
Oh, wow. Wow.
But this to me is like, she's doing it. Like, this is one of my favorite Nicole Kidman performances. Like, this and Dogville, probably.
She's incredible. She's very, very good. The script, I think, is very tight.
Yeah.
I almost did a thing trying to, like, analyze my intro. I rewrote at the last minute just to be kind of fun and goofy, because that's honestly, that song was in my head. But I really was thinking about how do you hide an ending like this? And I think this movie is really good at hiding its ending, because all throughout it's telling you she doesn't know something that the other characters know, but there's so many directions your brain can go as to what it is she doesn't know. And I think when the servants, like, quote, turn on her late in the film, you're like, I knew it.
Yeah.
They were the bad, evil spirits the whole time. And it's all through the filter of Christianity.
Yeah.
And I forget that every time about this movie.
Yeah.
That she's really holy.
You got to repent.
Yeah.
Because you might have did something bad that you're not. Like, I don't know, this movie is... I think this movie, this movie came out around the same time, if not the same year as The Sixth Sense.
2 years after.
2 years after, okay. And I feel like there's another film that has a similar kind of ending. I don't want to say what it is because I don't want to spoil it for you. But it's a similar horror film that has a very similar kind of twist ending. But I think what this movie does so well is it throws you into this box. And these characters, like, the rules of the box are so convoluted. That you're kind of concentrating on the rules of the box that you don't, like, it's like the magician trick of, like, look at this scarf over here. Don't pay attention to the boring hand over here. That's doing very subtle things.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, we have to like close one door to open another door. The doors have to be locked. That like the rules are so engaging of this film that you don't, until it's like over halfway through, think, wait, what is going on here?
Right. What's the Penn Jillette quote of magic fools you not because you're stupid, but because magic is stupid.
Oh, yeah.
That, like, it's amazing just how dull and simple are ways of fooling people into believing something. And just like, I mean, honestly, this is kind of where the Mondegreen thing comes in. Like, for your friend a misunderstood, remember, what was the word again she used? Ouija. We have a history of pop songs singing bullshit words.
Yeah.
Rock and roll has done that for years and years and years. Jazz has done that. Yeah. And so we expect that kind of flair from a singer. And so when we misunderstand a lyric, that's not because we're stupid. It's because pop music is stupid. And so same thing with this movie is that the rules of this box are so, you're right. She has to lock every door.
Why? I understand the like close the door. But why lock the door? And I think the only reason given is that this is an old house and doors just sort of open on their own around here.
Yeah.
But why would doors do that?
Great question.
But that's like 3 questions down, and when you're kind of thrown into this movie, you're only taking it like one question at a time rather than like wait a minute. And then I think that's buttressed by these like incredibly, these performances are very subtle, but at the same time, like Nicole Kidman is swinging for the stalls here.
She absolutely is.
Like from the minute she appears on screen, she wakes up screaming from a nightmare, has to recover. That's not a quiet, cozy performance.
So we've got Grace Stewart, I think. Grace is played by Nicole Kidman.
Okay.
She is a war widow. Mm-hmm. This is on the island of Jersey, in the Channel Islands. So between Europe and the UK, between continental Europe and UK,
if you will.
Yeah, limbo. 1945. So the war is ended, and it is a creepy ass old mansion in the middle
covered in
nowhere.
Perpetual fog.
Yep. Oh my goodness.
Well, before we even get to that, again, let's talk about this title sequence.
Okay, with these children's book illustrations.
Are you ready, children? All right, let's begin. Are you seated comfortably? It may sound silly that God created the world in 7 days, but he did. So already we're getting set up with this one, like you said, the religious aspect of this movie is like a deep vein to be mined. But also this idea of like grown-ups know everything. And if you present it in a children's story-esque, you're like, wait, is it true? Is this a fable?
And the images in the book get, I think on the surface they get creepier and creepier, but it's not about them getting creepy. It's about the faces or images getting more and more convoluted. So there's a picture of like a boy like with his mouth open looking scared, but it could also be a sense of confusion or surprise. And then there's another of like a little girl marionette puppet all tangled in her own wires. And it can look a little bit like The Hanged. It can look a little bit like a horror movie type of trope. But honestly, it's just it's depicting confusion. It's depicting getting turned around in your like you're being puppeted, or are you? Maybe you're just dropped to the floor. Maybe you don't have strings. Anyways, we're going to see the arrival of Bertha Mills, the young Lydia, who is mute, and Mr. Tuttle. And they are all coming to inquire about the job posted in the local newspaper. Grace, who is so uptight, to say the least.
She is wound up.
Listen, I'm going to tell you that broadly speaking, I'm not a person who cares about awards and award shows, but I kind of do.
Yeah,
There's something really petty and interesting and fun. And I understand that it's no slight to a movie to not win Best Picture. We have plenty of cases of bad movies winning Best Picture, whatever. But this movie wasn't nominated for a single fucking thing.
Yeah.
And it blows my mind because the costuming is incredible. It's impeccable.
The set design, the details of the set are so luscious.
I think the script is a very classic Hollywood script. It is very short story-esque.
Yeah.
And I think it plays with themes really well. I think it ties everything together really well. I think there are some lines in here that are pure poetry and but everything moves forward and clips along. And not to mention the acting is chef's kiss.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering why Hollywood didn't fall in love with a costume drama that's perfectly acted, well written.
I think a couple things. One, this is 25 years ago. When horror movies were more of the I Know What You Did Last Summer variety, you know, the early 2000s in which horror had not been quote unquote elevated. So the fact that this is a genre film, even though it's a classy genre film, people are like, oh, it's a horror film. So how good could it possibly be? It's internationally made. Like Spanish director directing an Australian actor in a British role. It's very quietly European in that way that I think Americans are like, wait, if I want to see a horror film, I want to see craziness. You know, I want to see the splatter, which is a valid response. But, I was looking into the box office receipts of this movie. And I think what's interesting is that this movie kind of went to number 4. So it's like top 10. It did well enough. And it just kind of hovered at number 4 for a couple weeks. And then eventually went up to like number 2. So I think this is like literally the definition of kind of a sleeper hit where people were like, people went to go see this movie and they're like, fuck, you should go see the others. It's better than you think it is. And it kind of slowly earned that reputation.
That makes a ton of sense. I mean, it was a $17 million film, so even by 2001 standards, that's so cheap, especially when you have Nicole Kidman as your anchor. But yeah, you're right. I mean, I think the Europeanness, not just in quality of film and how it's made, we know enough about, like, especially the Miramax era of filmmaking.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we are hardcore into the Harvey Weinstein era of huge money to push their films and to bury the others. But I didn't mean that by a pun, but to bury the other films that aren't Miramax or major Hollywood studios. And the biggest, the production companies on this are Las Producciones del Escorpión, Sojacin, and Cruz Wagner Productions. The only American distributor on this was Dimension Films, and probably the biggest name was Studio Canal. But Studio Canal does art house shit. Like, I see Studio Canal come up at Film Forum movies,
I actually get really excited whenever I see Studio Canal. I'm like,
of course.
Billy Elliot, let's watch that movie again.
Yeah. And so I think there just wasn't the backing to push this for awards. Anyways, it didn't need to win awards, but it's
just like it felt generationally overlooked.
It feels criminally overlooked, especially when you consider that it was really recognized at the BAFTAs. Which is...
See, there you go.
Yeah, so it was... what did we do? It was nominated for Best Actress, Best Original Screenplay, and Best Film. So, yeah, I don't know. There was something there for that.
Like, I think this movie is... I mean, clearly the connections to The Turn of the Screw, the innocence, that is very much present. But I think this movie has more DNA in common with movies like Don't Look Now than I Know What You Did Last Summer.
I think it also, of course, definitely, it very much has that. And I would even say there's something like Parasite to this movie as well. Yeah. And Parasite's a different level of unnerving. Like, Parasite feels less in the horror genre the way the others feels like a classic ghost story. but it is dealing with class in a really strong way.
For sure.
And I find that we're better than in the United Kingdom to tackle class.
They understand. I'd also point out that this is a PG-13 movie. Like, there is not a drop of blood.
No.
In this entire film. There's no overt violence.
No swears.
There's no swears. But I remember seeing this movie and like the scene where Grace is approaching what she thinks is her daughter in her confirmation dress. I just about crawled out of my seat. Because literally the screw had been turned so tight at that point. The tension was so high watching Nicole Kidman have a fucking mental breakdown trying to wrap her brain into knots to deny something. That by the time we actually start to see supernatural, I was crawling out of my skin. And that to me is the classiest horror you can possibly have, right?
Agreed. This is very high class horror. It's PG-13 because it's just so adult. Like an 8-year-old is just going to be like, "What the fuck? Why am I watching this?"
It's conversational. I think it has more in common with a short story than an action flick or a flick. Not a film.
Well, if you haven't seen this movie yet and you don't know how it ends or kind of where it goes,
warning.
I would say this is one of our more accessible films we've watched for this show. That's true. At least that's truly in the horror genre. And I would say anyone can handle this movie. It's got some jump scares. It's a little spooky. It's got some good, tightly wound tension. It's a ghost story, but I think it's accessible, and I think you should go watch it before we start spoiling it right here. Well, we talked about the rules that Grace has for this house of all doors. She has like 15 keys for 50 doors in the house.
Can you imagine the logistics of this?
Whenever I leave my apartment just to go to like the bodega at the end of the block, I'm like, lock it. Just fuck it. I don't need to lock the door. It's fine. Just like walk right on out.
Yeah.
And I can't be bothered to turn this one key.
I lived in an apartment where it had like 4 different keys to like the front door, the second front door, this door, the extra door, the 2 locks on and I would go outside to like have a cigarette, and I can't tell you how many times I locked myself out of that apartment.
Oh my God.
To the point where like the landlord was like, "You got to stop. You got to stop calling me."
We even have a lock on the piano to close this little door over the keys.
And Grace is like, "I get migraines, so you got to tell the kids no playing on the piano. You will not find any radios, any television, telephones, nothing that makes a loud noise."
No electricity even. When the Germans came here and the electricity kept going out so much that we just decided we don't even need electricity. Who even needs that shit?
So even
when
though
we
this
have
is
fog light to do our cross stitch by.
So even though this takes place in the 1940s, it has this feeling of being from like the 1840s, or it's out of time even for its time.
Yeah, it really is. Like it really confuses you with the time, even though it tells you right up front where and when we are. So we know that her husband had gone off to World War II to fight the Germans, but has not returned. It's been a year and a half. So we're all getting the sense, I don't think he's coming home, ma'am. Yeah. Well, Bertha and Lydia and Mr. Tuttle are all there to get this job. I find it interesting, all of the little, kind of knowing where the movie's going.
Yeah.
All of the ways that they sort of suggest everything from the get-go, when Miss Bertha is saying, "Oh, ma'am, you don't have to show us around. Honestly, it's fine." "No, I must."
Yeah.
Because this place is crazy. It's honestly a not ideal house. We had servants here over a week ago, just up and left.
They just left?
No warning.
That's weird.
So I need honest, hardworking people. And the other thing, my children are photosensitive. They have a light allergy.
I love this. Because one, it's like just so weird that you're like, I guess so. But also, you seem a bit nuts. And the way she like, and by the time we meet the children, she's like, and you know what happens, children, if you hit the sunlight hits you, you break out in boils and sores. And you're like, is this true? Is this real? Or are you like a Munchausen by proxy mom?
Right. It's interesting. I think the one issue I have with this film is like a deeply conceptual issue about her character. Because at the end, there is this sense that we want to forgive her. And I think the film wants us to forgive her for her actions. But I think we have a different understanding of mental health in the 21st century as something not only systemic in society, societal systemic, but like internally systemic. Like it is a series of behaviors that could have been initiated by chemistry or by history. But if you just look at her on the surface, this is a woman who in her behavior is, I think the term is Munchausen by whatever, the keeping the kids believing that they are sick so that they cannot leave her. And this is in death. This is after she was given a second chance.
Yeah.
Because she murdered her children with a pillow.
Yeah.
And then shot herself. And to me, murder-suicide as a parent, that's a pretty tough one to overcome as an outsider to be like, forgiveness or not? And so when she's with those kids at the end, I'm like, well, she can't technically physically harm them anymore, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe? I don't know, but I feel awful for them trapped with her is what I'm saying.
And especially as we get into sort of daily life with this family, like the fact that the kids, one, they don't want to be separated. They don't want to be alone because creepy shit happens in this house. Like anytime Grace leaves the room, they're like, please, mommy. And she's like, no, you have to learn how to be on your own. But at the same time, her actions are very much like, Mummy's always here.
Yeah.
You need to run to Mummy. But that is a fork thrown into it with the arrival of Mrs. Mills, who's like, your mom, let's just say not everything parents say should be taken at face value. Okay?
Right. Yeah.
Like, I can't negate anything she's saying because she's the boss and you're her child. But also, I
think Bertha is my most interesting character in this movie. God. But I think a close second for me is Anne. Because Anne is the catalyst for the plot, really. I mean, it's Bertha's arrival that's the inciting incident.
Yeah.
But Anne has the secret. She just doesn't know it yet because she's not reflecting on it. But the information Anne needs to solve the mystery of what's going on in her life is all there. She just lives in a world where she's constantly closed off and put into denial and repressed with Christian teachings.
That's the other thing is like, okay, so you're living in a house that has no contact with the outside world. Like even the postman. You can't get a priest to come. You can't get a postman to come. Your only connection to the outside world are your confirmation studies, the Bible, and whatever Mummy tells you.
Yeah.
And I love the sort of slow debate of philosophy that we get into when, Grace is having them read their confirmation stories, and I don't know this Bible story. I was like, I don't know who these people are, but, two people who denied Christ or would have denied Christ. And they're like, wait, you would like, think about it. You would deny Christ. What would happen?
We'd go to limbo.
What is limbo? And it's very much like this idea of neither heaven nor hell, or a part of hell that is not the fire and brimstone-y part. It's more you just got to hang out in God's waiting room for all of eternity for the revelation to happen.
Wasn't that in, what was our Christopher Walken?
The Prophecy?
Yes. The whole idea that by the end of that movie, you sort of understand that purgatory has just been a red tape logjam for all of human existence, that no human has ever gotten out of purgatory.
You're just waiting there with a deli counter number. like in Beetlejuice.
Yeah, you are number 3,148,000,000.
So, like, again, these clues are kind of peppered throughout that these people are in limbo, but they just don't know it yet.
Yeah. Grace sort of kind of complaining to the servants about, I feel so trapped here, like I can never leave. Mm-hmm. And the fog doesn't help. I don't even hear the seagulls anymore. I'm like, you are on an island the size of my living room, ma'am, and you should hear seagulls.
I love that idea. That's really interesting you brought that up. That line went totally over my head. But the idea of things that are missing from this movie, normal things that seem that you just don't even notice, like the fact that no one eats anything in this movie.
Yeah.
Like the kids are sitting down to lunch, but they refuse to eat. Like they're like, this bread tastes weird. And Mrs. Mills is like, oh, that's because somebody else, like your old nanny, made it for you. But again, it's not that. That's just the story she has to tell these kids that are not ready to hear the truth yet. When in fact, yes, you're a shade. You're like by the river Tantalus or whatever, and the food gives you no sustenance.
In analyzing this movie, sorry, it's another meta commentary about like the construction of the film, but I think one of the hardest things this movie has to do is convince us that Bertha knows that she's dead.
Yeah.
And Bertha knows that they're dead.
Yeah.
But Bertha also can't tell them because as the filmmaker, as the screenwriter, I don't want the audience to know till the end. So I'm just going to refuse to have the housekeeper tell the truth, which could seem really flimsy, but because of her class, her position, and also I think just the respect we give or the non-confrontation we want from people who are cuckoo loco with their Christianity. You're like, well, they just see the world differently. It's very English, even though she's Irish, but it's like, it's very English to not intervene, to be polite. Deny, be polite in a cold way.
Avoid. Honestly, now that you're saying it, like Mrs. Mills essentially operates as a therapist.
Yeah, she 100% does.
The thing is, like, your therapist may be like, listen, I've written down on day 3 what your problems are.
That you're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Yeah.
But I can't tell you. I can only steer the conversation so you realize what your problems are.
Yes, because that's totally it.
It makes it like Mrs. Mills could walk in and be like, okay, dead people, let's get this together. But that would just cause Grace to like explode and go even deeper into denial.
That's right.
So instead she's like, okay, let's see. I also think like Mrs. Mills really cares for this family. Like a gentle, loving kindness, because she kind of has the bigger picture and she's like, fuck. Okay, let's play this game. And listen, this actress also, she does surprised, disgusted, confused, like the looks on her face are inscrutable.
She's so good. She, in fact, is the opposite of the priest from The Omen.
Yes, that's right. Who came in hot.
Who came in like, there's a demon, and he's in your child, and they have to do the thing. Hold on,
and if you look at his head, he'll have the mark of the beast. So I need you to shave your child's head.
So now we have the binary, the 0 and the 1 of reactions to knowing you're in a horror film. And we have
Mrs.
Bertha.
Mills is maybe a little too subtle.
Totally.
But again, it's like a good therapist. She has a patience for most of the film. And in that way of like, okay, listen, if we placate Grace, and she'll come around eventually, because eventually she's going to have to deal with the others, the titular others that also are in this house.
I found it interesting when we play the game of, do they say the title of the film in the film?
They don't. I don't think they do.
They do one time, but they never... It's only at this early part when they are first sitting down for toast from Bertha, and it's not mentioned... It's only mentioned when Anne says, "Are you going to leave us like the others?"
Oh, okay.
Did. So it's very interesting that the phrase...
It doesn't get a bell ring. I would say it doesn't get a bell ring.
Not.
Yeah.
And the only reason I point that out is to say that the only time they use the phrase "the others" is in kind of normal, easy to miss conversation about people who would not be deemed harmful or scary. Every other time it's the intruders.
Yeah.
Which I think is really interesting, which you can't name this film The Intruders because then it becomes like a home invasion movie.
Yeah.
It becomes The
But
Strangers
it is
Are
a
Funny
home
Games.
invasion
It
film.
is, but it's not quite to that level, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Anne knows something is up because at this first like breakfasty thing where they're not eating, she mentions that Mummy went mad, remember? And Nick was like, "No, shut the fuck up. STFU, girl."
Yeah. She's like, well, it happened.
So we're like, mad how? Like her favorite team lost? Or
She punched her TV.
yeah.
But immediately the kids start fighting, and that brings Grace in the room. And, well, we can't talk about Mummy's psychotic break in front of Mummy.
No.
So we're just going to, like, brush it under the rug here.
So Grace is being Grace. She's gracing it all up with the kids, teaching them Bible stuff, talking to Bertha, saying, like, was Lydia born like that?
Yeah.
How do you mean, ma'am? Like, she was born mute? No, she wasn't. And then she walks out of the room.
No additional information given.
And this is where Grace starts hearing sobbing from other rooms. And to this point, all we've heard, as audience members, we've heard no ghosty, supernaturally things yet. All we know is that Grace has complained that Anne makes up strange stories, and she does not like strange stories. She likes truthful stories.
Do you know
like
what
the
I'm
Bible.
talking about? You could be talking about anything, ma'am. Mm-hmm. I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, I do, but what do you think you're talking about? Again, this entire movie is like a very long therapy session. How does that make you feel, Grace? When your daughter talks about strange things.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
When you say frustrated, can you elaborate on the other feelings that came with frustration?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she starts hearing crying, and she's got her kids in separate rooms, both studying the same thing. It's a bit of a punishment of like, you two are telling bad stories, so you have to be separated. But in both rooms, both kids are studying. They're like, that's not me crying. I don't know what you heard.
Yeah.
But it's Anne who says, "Oh, it was Victor." Who the fuck's Victor? He's a little boy ghost who comes around here.
Yeah. Who lives in... She doesn't even say ghost. He's just, there's a boy who lives here. I see him sometimes. Wait, what? There's somebody in the house.
He said actually his family owns this house. This is his family's house, and that we have to leave.
And then his dad's a pianist. And, yeah. I don't know. He seems pretty cool. But but not cool. Like he's, he kind of... We get into it, as little kids do. I think he's a fibber, or, whatever she says about him.
She's like, but wait, how can a little boy get in and out of a locked room? And then she looks over and sees one of the doors is open. She lights into Bertha and Lydia.
Oh, yeah.
She was full Karen on their asses.
I explained to you the rules of this house. No wire hangers ever. What is this?
So, Bertha's doing her best to say, "Oh, well, I can't imagine how that could have happened. You saw me. I was in the garden, ma'am." At night, these curtains are opening, and one of the rules of the house is curtains are to be closed because of the the light allergic children who will burst into flames if they touch light brighter than candles.
Which apparently is a real thing, but it is so exceptionally rare. Like literally only 1,000 people in the entire world have this.
Okay, yeah.
Disorder. But it is based in...
It is a real thing.
Based in somewhat in reality, yeah.
Okay. Well, at night, these curtains come open in the kid's bedroom.
Oh, I hate this scene. I love this scene, but I hate this scene. This to me is like the importance of blocking and choreography in filmmaking. Mm-hmm. Because Anne is like freaking out her brother, talking to Victor. But every time she talks to Victor, she turns her head away from the camera and her hair kind of obscures her face. So like Nicholas doesn't know. He's like, you're doing voices. But we don't know. Is she doing voices? Is Anne the like, again, this movie throws so much at the walls right up front that you're like, maybe we have a creepy mom, we've got a creepy caretaker lady, but we also now have a creepy kid. Maybe it's Anne. Maybe this is like she's a split personality. And even when she's like, fine, I'm going to go to bed. And she closes those curtains. And then a moment later in the darkness, a child-sized hand kind of goes and like opens them again. It could very easily be Anne.
Yeah, the camera does not let you know. This isn't like Martyrs, where the camera finally shows us an outside POV to say, that sleep paralysis demon isn't real.
Yeah.
Even Victor's voice when he speaks is a little bit like,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It kind of sounds like, Danny's not here, Mrs. Torrance.
But yeah, this kid freaks out because she's like, here, Victor, touch his cheek so that he knows you're real and that you know he's real.
Yeah.
I just wrote in my notes so he knows he's real, and I'm not sure which he is who she was talking to there, but it's so you both know that you're real.
But again, it's like you just see a child's hand come off a frame. You're like, this doesn't prove nothing proves anything.
Of course not.
Which again is going to be something that is echoed much later in the movie of like some things you can't look up in a book. A Bible story doesn't apply. You can't know everything. You can't figure everything out. Some things remain mysterious.
Yeah, I think even Bertha says something to that effect, that there's value in not knowing. I mean, I'm paraphrasing. But yeah, it's, you cannot understand all of the world. Live in
ambiguity. Is your husband alive? Is he coming home? Because right now you've just frozen your life in anticipation and you're just like holding on to the hope that he is alive. He is coming home. If I say that often enough, I will believe it. Versus being like, I don't know, man.
Well, and I think that ties so much into Christianity. There's, there's a newish comedian, Jewish guy who makes a joke about, he's like, Jews were really interested in questions. Like Judaism is about questions, whereas Christianity is about answers. So Jews will think about like, what is the nature of God? What is the nature of a Messiah, of a return to the earth of a God? Whereas Christians are like, oh, he's definitely a brunette.
Yeah.
And I think the certainty that comes with Christian belief is it's being deeply examined here in this film. There is, earlier in the movie when Grace questions Anne about Anne saying, oh, I would have never been beheaded by the Romans because I would have just said, I don't know nothing about Jesus.
But on the inside, I'd believe. But on the outside, I'd just be like, I don't know, Jesus who?
And her mom is like, but denying Christ is a sin and you would go to kids' limbo. And so we have this whole breakdown of where limbo is. Well, this girl does so much reading and does in her punishment and probably in her normal life, but she is fucking fact-checking her mom.
Oh, yeah.
And when her mom is like, do your forgivenesses, and she's like, no, because I didn't do anything. I'm not going to ask for forgiveness for something I didn't do. And she says, well, you'll go to limbo. And she says, that's not true. And says, I looked it up. Limbo is only for unbaptized children, and I have been baptized. And Grace looks shook.
Oh, yeah.
It's fucking great.
Starting or growing your own business can be intimidating and lonely at times. Your to-do list may feel endless with new tasks, and lists can easily begin to overrun your life. So finding the right tool that not only helps you out, but simplifies everything as a built-in business partner can be a game changer. For millions of businesses, that tool is Shopify. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the US. From household names like Gymshark, Rare Beauty, and Heinz, to brands just getting started. Shopify has hundreds of ready-to-use templates that can help you build a beautiful online store that matches your brand's style. And you can tackle all the important tasks in one place, from inventory to payments to analytics and more. No need to save multiple websites or try to figure out what platform is hosting the tool that you need. And if people haven't heard about your brand, you can get the word out like you have a marketing team behind you, with easy-to-run email and social media campaigns to reach customers wherever they're scrolling or strolling. Start your business today with the industry's best business partner, Shopify, and start hearing. Sign up for your $1 per month trial today at shopify.com/realm. Go to shopify.com/realm. That's shopify.com/realm.
Bertha wants to know how long Anna's going to be punished. Again with the time slip, because we don't really know until Bertha says something. They've been like this for 3 days, where that girl has just been sitting in a stairwell reading fucking Bible study.
Yeah. Like, imagine like standing in the living room or in the hallway, like just having to read from the Bible continuously for 3 days.
How much does it pay, really, is my question.
Yeah.
So we're now getting more and more noises upstairs, and Anne starts hearing clomping upstairs. I'm sorry, Anne. Grace starts hearing clomping upstairs, thinking it's Bertha and Lydia, but she sees the two of them outside. And Mr. Tuttle's not there that day, so she goes upstairs and checks in with Anne on the way, being like, did you hear something? She's like, I mean, not really. But yeah, there's definitely people in that room over there, our junk room.
Fucking creepy. That's the other thing. Like, I love the sound design in this movie of like the voices, noises coming from other rooms, which this is something we get a lot in, the sort of the William Castle, in The Innocents, but Nicole Kidman, this, like, I'm going to look at the ceiling and follow the sound of a voice, and then like the chandelier kind of jingles a bit to give you a visual representation. The soft piano music coming from another room, the sound of Anne reading kind of becomes a quiet soundtrack.
Well, she goes into that room, and it is a bunch of just furniture covered in white sheets, basically. It's a storage room. But that makes it all the fucking creepier. Also, the way the furniture is stood up on end, so it resembles the ghosts when Anne was describing to Nicholas earlier, like, oh, Victor, this kid I'm seeing is not a ghost, because ghosts are covered in white sheets and they have chains and they go, ooh.
Yeah.
But
like very Jacob Marley ghost.
Yeah. But this is matching our classic view of the ghost, a person draped in a white sheet.
And what is it? Grace hears breathing, I think?
Yeah. She hears like a...
Oh, of course.
And then there is when it comes to clarity, suddenly it goes from like gibberish to she's a woman. And then you hear like a deep inhale. And then she hears them all scatter out.
And she comes out, and Anne's like, one went that way, one went that way, one went that way, one went that way. They're in the house, Mom.
I was talking to them. Victor said that they want to take down all the curtains. It's so dark in here. It's very, very funny. She's like, Anne says, here, Mommy, I drew a picture of the family. See, this is the daddy, and this is the mommy, and this is little Victor, and there's this old lady that they hang out with. And the drawing of this old lady, Cecil, chef's kiss.
That's one of our favorites on this podcast. Creepy children's drawings. And this one is, again, this movie is the most subtle. This is not sinister, No.
No.
This is like, they look like normal ass people. Just the only thing about the old woman is that they're like, oh, she has like white eyes, like she's blind, like she's looking at you but not looking at you.
Yeah.
And she has kind of frizzy hair.
And she says things like, come with us, come to me, children, come to me. And Victor thinks she's a witch. And all of this confounding lore is so good to get us off the scent of what's really going on. So now Grace is fully convinced because she has physical evidence. Like she has experiential evidence.
Yes.
Material signs that something crazy is going on.
So we're going to search every room in this house.
And she draws out that rifle.
I love it. She has a moment that is like so subtle. Like when she goes to get the rifle for the first time, there's a moment of like, she experiences deja vu. That again, it's like much like Mrs. Mills, like that thing of like when you know the ending, you see these things that are, she's like, that's like, I feel like I've been here before. Oh, well, fuck it. No, I have a job to do, but it's so brief.
I didn't clock that, but that's great. That's so good. She also, Grace starts going through old, like the attic.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of stuff that has been collected there from previous people.
Well, because she's looking for a mommy ghost, a daddy ghost, a Victor ghost, and an old lady ghost.
The other thing subtly that happened earlier is when the kids first get sent to do their studies, what Nicholas is just kind of learning to like read correctly, to read grammar and to write. And so the story he's reading is this, it's Christian, but it's really just about what is a family? A family is made up of a mother, a father, their children, and the grandparents.
Yeah.
And so there's often a grandparent that lives with the family. And so but that's just like B-roll, like fading into the background as we go. It's like unimportant.
But I love what it continues of like, children should never disobey their parents.
Right.
Children should always be respectful and never question the parent. So again, it's like this sort of Christian allegory of like, don't question God. Just this is what we do. Don't ask questions. Like, and don't be a doubting Thomas. Don't doubt. Don't poke holes. God made all the animals in a day. He's like, he put them all in a boat.
So, I love the conversation with Bertha later when they're talking about, when Anne brings up ghosts being covered in sheets and chains, and Bertha says, "You read a lot. You read a lot of things about, you don't have to believe everything you read." She says, "Oh, I don't. Like, I don't believe a lot of the Bible. Like, I don't believe God created the world in 7 days. I don't believe that the Holy Spirit is a dove. Doves are the least holy of the birds.
They poop on our window.
They poo on our windows." But that's a real observation by a child who's not held in check by societal norms as we do not question Jesus Christ or the teachings of the Bible. But that notion that the grandparents live with them also kind of sets us on a mission to say, this ghost, it must have been a mother, father, son, and grandmother of sort that lived there. So let's try and find this photo. But all these photos seem to be of like larger groups of people. But then she finds basically a death book. Pictures of the dead.
Oh, I love this. Again, this prop is great. Like the fact that it has the clasp on it, she has to unclasp it. And kind of, it's a locked secret. And she's like, look, these people are sleeping. Look, there's all these photos of people sleeping. And Mrs. Mills is like, ma'am, that is a Book of the Dead. Ma'am, this is a Wendy's. You can't die here. You can't prop up your corpse and take a photo here of your two 10-year-olds.
But yeah, she said, Bertha says, they're dead. Those people are dead. The idea was if you took a photo, there was sort of this belief that maybe, your spirit would live on because of the photo of you. Because
people would remember you.
Yeah. Which is kind of what she means, but she just says the belief that the soul might come back because of the photo. Grace is like, how could people believe in such superstitions that there is life after death because of a photo? That's
crazy.
weird.
Why do you think that's crazy, Grace?
I want Bertha Mills as my therapist.
I know,
so
right?
badly. She's so good. I have a great therapist, but Bertha is pretty awesome.
Kind of like a Sphinx-like Irish lady.
Yeah.
I take my money. Sort me out, Mrs. Mills.
Sort me out, Freud mommy. I love it.
So why do you feel the need to go into town? Would you consider yourself an avoidant personality?
What was it like the day your husband left for war?
Yeah, tell me about that. Tell me about that day.
Did you feel loved by your mother? Like, did you know your mother loved you?
How did she show it?
So that night, Grace is having quite a day. She took in a lot of information.
Yeah. They didn't find anything, clearly. They didn't find any people in the house. They searched everywhere.
This is an incredible shot, but she's sitting by the fireplace. Mm-hmm. And then they cut over, like she's being contemplative, Grace is.
Yeah.
And then the frame changes so that we see Bertha sitting off at the distance, and she is talking to Bertha. And she finally says, Bertha, you can come, Mrs. Mills, you can come sit by the fire. Mrs. Mills is like, great. We have.
Oh, thank you.
I've gotten the alert that my number here at the deli has come up and my order is ready. But we know that Bertha and the other two had worked in this house before. We had found that out earlier in the movie. But here she says, back in the day, there were so many servants, but, because of the tuberculosis, the island got evacuated and the house just kind of went empty.
The master kind of eventually stopped coming as often, so we didn't need all the servants, and then everybody kind of died. Died.
You can see on Nicole Kidman's face here, it's the face I make when somebody's telling me a story and I think, it's impolite for me to pull out my phone and Google this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I have questions and I'm afraid to fact check what they're saying.
With the accuracy of this.
But in her mind, she's got to be thinking, when was tuberculosis?
Right.
That's what her face says.
Oh, yeah. And Mrs. Mills, she's like, oh, that was years ago. It was before you got here.
Yeah.
I mean, just many years. Let's go with many years ago.
Note to self, when Mrs. Mills goes to bed, Wikipedia tuberculosis.
Yeah. TB outbreak. Jersey Islands.
Okay, so Grace hears late at night the piano playing.
I love that.
Or just at night. Actually, there's no sense of time sometimes in this movie, too.
Yeah, let's talk about that. This is something that as I was kind of when the movie was finished, one of the things I love about this movie is the amber glow of lamps, the pools of light that are natural, that are unnatural, that move dramatically, that move thematically, shadows that move on the wall, even though the key light is something that a character's holding that is not moving. But I love this idea of, mostly in horror movies, we have characters in the dark reaching for a light switch. That's even the premise of the movie Lights Out. This idea of, I'm in a horror film, I see something creepy in the dark, I turn on the lights. And this movie is so creative in that it's the inverse of that, of tamp everything out. And I think it's pretty early on when, Grace asks Mrs. Mills to go downstairs and check on something, and Mrs. Mills takes the only light source off camera. And we just sort of sit in the darkness for a minute until Grace can relight a new one. But I love that the idea, and it's even very subtly reflected in the opening title sequence of like, there's kind of a shadowy spotlight that kind of moves across these children's drawings. Mm-hmm. I love it.
It's so good.
But yeah, is it daytime? Is it so like we have these moments of Grace and Mrs. Mills sitting in the parlor, able to open the curtains, and you kind of forget. You're like, oh fuck, that's right. These children are in bed at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
What is time? When is bedtime?
When is morning? When is afternoon?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, Grace hears the piano playing, and is immediately riled up, like, no piano playing. But she goes into the room, unlocks the door, comes in, and the piano stops as she turns the doorknob.
Right.
And then when she looks, nobody's in that fucking room.
Nope. So she closes the piano case, locks it with a key, because everything in this fucking house is locked.
And then she examines the room, and nobody's in there. So she notices that door keeps creaking open, which kind of goes back to what we were saying at the beginning, that we get a sense as this movie goes along that maybe her rules for keeping the doors locked was because they just kind of opened on them by themselves all the time.
Or closed by themselves.
Yeah. And, well, she goes outside of the room, the door creaks closed.
I should have Mr. Tuttle rehang this door.
And then suddenly that door slams in her face and knocks her to the ground.
Right?
And then she hears the locking from the other side.
Yeah.
And she races to Miss Mills, give me the key to the music room. When she gets back in, no one's in there, but that keyboard is unlocked and opened.
I know I left it closed.
I fucking checked that room.
Grace.
And Bertha tells her, I've often believed in these things. Because Grace is like, I can't, there's something in this house, something that's not at rest, and I can't wrap my head around. I'm not going to say ghost.
I love it. She describes it as being unquiet, I think.
Yeah. She can't say ghost. She can't say haunted.
Something is unsettled.
Yeah.
What do you think it is, Grace? Do you feel settled in this house? Is there anything you'd like to talk about?
Grace can't believe it because of the Bible, but Bertha's like, this is the line. There isn't always an answer for everything.
Yeah.
And Grace, Bertha says, I think the world of the dead gets mixed up with the world of the living sometimes. And it does feel like, we're going to have to come to terms with that somehow.
Yeah.
Instead of freaking out every single time. My new apartment is not that new anymore. I've been here for about 9 months now almost.
Okay.
But it's the first apartment that I've lived in or the place that I've lived in where the cats will just suddenly just like look up and across the room and just stare at nothing. And it's a 110-year-old Brooklyn apartment,
Like, what's in that corner over there that they're really interested in?
Rather than freak out, I just kind of do if you're here with me now, just know that you're welcome to whatever. Just let me know what you need. I'm
just watching TV.
Yeah, I just want to do a thing.
You can hang out in that corner if you need oh my God. Do you want to hear a spooky ghost story?
I love a spooky ghost story.
Okay, so I knew this guy who was the caretaker for the oldest house in New York City. It's way the fuck out in Queens, and it's I think it's like Revolutionary War era. It is as old as this country. And it's, now it's a museum and kids go there to learn about farming and things like that. It's way the fuck out there. And his job was he was the caretaker of this house. So he would spend the night in this 250-year-old house. And I spent the night with him one night and I was like, are we going to see ghosts? He's like, probably. I mean, probably not, but because I've learned their habits now, I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, there's this one door that no matter how many times I close it and lock it, every time I wake up, that door is always open again. So eventually I was like, you want that door open? That door stays open. So I've just learned to adjust to their routines.
That's nice.
Yeah. I thought that was a very pragmatic approach to it.
That's so good. And actually, I think one of the cool things that this movie does in the end when we sort of understand the two sets of people living in this house when we see the others.
Yeah.
Or understand that Nicole Kidman and the kids are the others themselves, you know. But seeing the seance and seeing both sides of the seance and why the table is shaking and why the papers get thrown in the air and why the kids are crying. And from the point of view of people doing the seance, it's like, it sounds terrifying. It sounds like, oh, these poor baby children. And yes, poor kids.
Yeah.
But also, like, it's so much more complicated, the lives of these people.
Yeah.
And like we always say about spiders or whatever, like, they're just as scared of you as you are of them.
Yeah.
So Grace thinks, you know, I remember my husband Charles saying talking about how old this house was, that there must be, perhaps there's like an old graveyard, maybe spirits here. Mr. Tuttle, could you search the site for gravestones?
I think it's over there somewhere.
Yeah, I'm gonna go into town and ask the priest to come and do get exorcism or whatever on this house, to bless this house.
And this is kind of the first time we get the three servants are being actively deceptive.
Yes.
Because everything before this was avoidant. Listen, I can't say your mom is nuts.
Yeah.
But I will say, she has her ways. But this is the first time they're like, Mr. Tuttle, you need to cover up those graves.
Yeah.
She's asking about the graves.
When should we bring it all out in the open? All in good time, Mr. Tuttle.
Oh, she's leaving? The fog will take care of her. She won't get far.
Yeah. But holy shit, in the fog. Again, I love a good midpoint turn, where we have to scramble. And I don't know why I forget this every time, but it shocks me. I think this is my third time seeing this movie. It shocks me every time husband Charles shows up in the fog. I'm like, oh, that's right. He's such a big part.
It's one of those things of like watching a play. Like, why are the characters remaining in this play? Like, why don't they? Why don't you just leave? And on stage, it's like theater has to have them kind of remain in the room, and so it becomes about language and ideas and characters and things like that. But in movies, your camera can go anywhere.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice to have a movie be like, yeah, get out of there, girl. Go for a walk. Go touch grass.
Let's go touch grass. Let's go see town.
Yeah. But she kind of can't. She gets a little turned around. And then the fact that, like, her husband shows up, and listen, he is not looking good.
He is catatonic.
Yeah.
At best.
Like 1,000-yard stare. Like Johnny got his gun. Quiet on the Western Front. Christopher
Eccleston is such a great cast here. Because he is... This is young Christopher Eccleston. Yeah. So this is like 4 or 5 years away from him doing the reboot of Doctor Who. Right. Doctor Who was my first familiarity with him. I hadn't seen him before, but here he's like gorgeous in a Sam Shepard rough and tumble kind of way. Yeah. And this 1,000-yard stare. But the other thing we know about Christopher Eccleston, if we've watched Doctor Who or if we watched The Leftovers, is he has a crazy setting.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure.
And so if you've seen his other stuff, he has a go full Nick Cage setting on him.
Oh, yeah. There's actually, it's one of my least favorite Shakespeare plays, but he does, there's a film version of Coriolanus with him as the main character. And it's like the only time I've been like, yeah, I buy it.
Yeah.
I buy this character now for the first time.
And this film forces him to tamp that down, but also to feel it.
Yeah.
So when we see full Chris Eccleston burbling, it's good. He has so few lines, but he's amazing.
And it's also the buildup of wait till your father gets home. When is daddy getting home? The daddy will solve everything.
Yeah.
Mommy's a bit on edge because daddy is not here. And then we get daddy and we're like, oh no. Oh, daddy is his own problem. Daddy ain't solving shit. Like, to the point where even the fact that they recognize each other, you know, like at this point in the movie, you're like, is this a fake? Like, the fact that he's just out wandering about in the fog.
Yeah.
And he's like, I could leave. So I was allowed to say goodbye to my wife. Like, I was allowed to say, like, goodbye to my wife and children. I was allowed to come home kind of one more time.
Yeah. He just said, I'm out there looking for my home. This line here, you know, he's got this 1,000-yard stare. They're standing in the fog. This is like the most like Beckett play bullshit here when she says, these long pauses between 3-word sentences. And she says, here's the dialogue on this page, and these actors make it work. And I think about this all the time when I read play scripts. How do you make these 2 lines sound not pretentious? But here's the 2 lines. Grace says, "You're so different." Charles says, "Sometimes I bleed."
I know, right?
The gall, Cecil, to write that?
Yeah. Yeah.
To write that line, that is pretentious bullshit, and it's beautiful. It works to perfection.
Because you have 2 characters having 2 different conversations.
Yes.
I mean, you have characters having completely different conversations throughout this entire film. So by this point, we're like an hour into this movie already.
Yeah.
So this is just par for the course.
Incredible. The other thing he serves in this film for her is he's the reset button.
Yeah.
She regresses back to her old ways. She is back to not just her life when husband was there, when daddy was home, but like her life a few days before when she didn't believe Anne. Because after Charles comes back, and even when he leaves again, she is back to like, there are no intruders in this house.
No, everything is fine. Listen, we're going to get lunch ready. This is a happy day, kids. Let's put on our happy faces. We're not going to talk about anything that has gone on in the last year and a half. And how does Charles respond? He goes upstairs to his bedroom and closes the door.
Is Charles's behavior in this scene, like his distance from her, how did you read that? Did you read it as a quite literal shell-shocked coming home from war?
Yeah.
Or shell-shocked I'm a ghost coming home from war? Or did you read it as, is this how he was before he left?
Oh, interesting. Interesting. Probably a bit of all 3.
Yeah.
But I think when the first time I saw this movie, I think it's the appearance of Charles where I was like, these motherfuckers are dead. Like, this was the first time I got the feeling, because some of the things that, one, the fact that he just shows up out of nowhere, I'm like, suspect. And it is these very subtle things of like, this dude is, this is the shell-shocked. I've been given, by the mercy of God, I'm allowed to kind of like have one day with my family.
Yeah.
But then get sucked back into the gray.
When we covered The Sixth Sense, the twist ending of The Sixth Sense is such a critical part of the experience of that movie. It is not, the movie, even knowing the ending of The Sixth Sense, is still incredible.
Yeah.
There's still so much emotional heft and weight to it. But it really does compromise the initial experience of the movie once you know.
Well, because in that movie, it's like, the twist is he sees dead people.
Yes.
Or that's the thing that everybody takes away. But then you see the movie and you're like, oh no, that's a stone on the path to the actual thing.
And I think this movie, it does have a twist when the kids see the headstones of the servants and what have you. But I think this movie wants you to start really thinking about it halfway through. Yes, the feeling I got. I knew going into it that they were already dead, so it's hard to know where I would have been tipped off.
Yeah. For me, it was Charles was the fulcrum for me, in which I was like, wait a minute.
That's what I would have presumed, yeah.
And then the fact that he comes in, he's clearly not doing well. Like, he is just staring at the ceiling. And then it's also this beautiful scene between Grace and Charles where Grace is like, wait, you're leaving again? It's not that why do you feel this obligation to go fight these people halfway across the world, even though she's been lecturing to her children? You know, how do you know you're the goodies or the baddies? Like, well, of course we're the goodies. We fight on the side of Jesus Christ. We're the goodies. If we were baddies, we have these skulls on their helmets.
I love that she does not differentiate goodies and baddies other than the fact that we're the English and they're the Germans.
Doesn't go into any explanation.
The Germans famously have a laundry list of what explains them as baddies. There are many wars in the history of humankind where we could say, hard to tell who the goodie or baddie is. It kind of depends on your political or religious affiliation. World War II, we had a pretty strong case that universally we could assume that the Germans were the baddies for XYZ reasons. And she's just like, we're the goodies because we're the English.
Clearly. But then in this conversation with her husband, she's like, this fucking war, your fucking morals. You know what I think it is? I think you just don't want to be with me. And this kind of melts him a bit.
Yeah.
And it's, again, this is PG-13. It's like he kind of lays next to her and then it fades to black or, you know, and then it kind of fades back in and they're without clothes and they're very connected to each other. They just had a little bit of ghost sex.
Getting it. Yeah. She's got to catch some D.
And she's like, oh, I'm so glad you're going to stay.
Nope.
And it's like, I think it's like her eyes are closed and his eyes are open and he's just looking at her and you're like, oh, he's out the door.
Yeah.
He's
just brush my teeth before you leave
That's
me.
it. Angel of the morning.
Baby. Yeah, Angels of the Morning, does not brush her teeth or touch her cheek before he leaves. No. And he's gone.
And again, it's like we don't see him leave. We just see, much like the very first shot of her screaming and waking from a nightmare, we don't see him leave. We just see her wake up and be like, oh, no.
Yeah. Motherfucker. There was the night before, we're not to the confirmation dress just yet, but the night before I wanted to comment on when Daddy is there, there's a big fight at the table. Daddy doesn't come down for dinner. We have the goodies or baddies talk with Anne, but Anne brings up the intruders in the house, and Grace is like, there are no intruders in this house. Stop telling lies, young lady. And she's trying to control the house to make it nice for Daddy coming home. And Anne is like, she crashes out.
Yeah.
And it's Bertha who has to stop her and say, I've seen what you say you've seen. I've seen it too. There are things your mother just doesn't want to hear. Sooner or later, she'll see them and everything will be different.
Oh, yeah.
There will be some big surprises. There will be changes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think now that Daddy is gone.
Yes. The kids are not happy, but Grace is, again, she's stiff upper lip.
Uh-huh.
She's going to grit her teeth and be like, you know what? Fuck Daddy. We're in it together. We've got to make life exciting and fun for us. So you know what? Let's put on a fancy dress and wed you to Christ.
But before this happens, we have all of the curtains go missing.
Oh, that's right. Is that
because while she's out looking for Charles,
that's it.
Anne wakes up and screams. Both those kids scream because the curtains aren't just drawn; they are gone.
And I love the fact that it's like the kids are experiencing sunlight, and you're like, "You seem fine, kids. You seem okay." But they've been taught by mom that, oh no, scream. And like, I love this. Like, Grace has the most sumptuous velvet bathrobe.
Oh my God.
That she's like thrown over them, and she's like carrying one, and she's got one. So they're like trying to like shuffle them from one room to another, but there's nowhere to go, Grace. She finally gets them into a playroom where she puts like a chalkboard up against the wall as like a makeshift barrier from the sunlight.
You know what one of my favorite tropes is the put upon person who's being Karen'd by a Karen, right? Mm-hmm. The put upon person who responds, calmly
Oh, yeah.
to the shouty person. And so Grace is ripping into Lydia.
Because she's like, there's only 3 other people in this house. Like, you all took the curtains.
Yeah, and you must know what's happening here. We write it down, and Bertha comes in and says, ma'am, she can't write either. Mm-hmm. And she's like, well, the curtains were gone. She says, I have noticed that, ma'am.
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Tuttle.
Mr. Tuttle, did you notice? Yeah. Oh, now that you mention it, I do see that the curtains are gone.
Look at that.
Someone wants to kill my children with the sunlight. Don't you know that they are photosensitive? Mr. Tuttle's like, I had a cousin with rheumatism.
I love it.
And then she had all these scars on her legs. And then one day,
she just woke up. She was okay.
She was fine.
I mean, maybe the kids were photosensitive before, but now maybe they're okay.
Yeah. Maybe it's just a phase.
Before what? Grace? Before what?
Let me ask you another question. I'm just going through the lore of this. Mm-hmm. Does you think that in killing her children, that the madness that she experienced to kill her children is that they actually were photosensitive kids? That they legitimately were children who suffered from this?
Okay.
And with daddy gone and her trapped in this house and the Germans here and no electricity and migraines and she can't even look at sunlight, that was what literally drove, these are the things that drove the madness? Or is it simply something deeply psychological where she needed her husband to justify her existence?
After this watching, this is the big question that I walked away with, is why did she do what she did? Why does she Medea her family? Because in Medea, we have, she had pretty revenge. Like, she has a pretty good reason. And in this, upon watching the ending, and I know we're kind of skipping a couple of scenes here, but the movie is so concerned with the explanation of who the others are, what is the twist, that I think Grace's motivation for the murder-suicide is kind of swept under the rug a bit. It's never, we get the, I love my children, I didn't want to hurt my children. It's really open-ended.
I mean, I think very intentionally so.
Yeah.
I think he's not there to give us the actual answer, because I think there is something to my question at the beginning of, do I trust her?
Yeah.
And I think the film kind of wants you to. I think the film wants to speak to atonement versus forgiveness.
Yes.
Atonement to your family rather than to Christ, right? I knew someone who, in older age, who had died and spent years trying to get right with Christ and not their own family.
Yeah. Maybe the people that they actually hurt.
Yeah. And that's really a shame that, why are we giving it up to, old man in the sky as opposed to the people literally around you? So I think the movie wants us to...
Because old man in the sky won't talk back.
No.
Old man in the sky won't push back.
And he gave you the cancer to begin with. He caused the accident to begin with. Or he let it happen, however that works. And your family is actually directly affected by everything you do and vice versa. And so I think that's what the filmmaker wants us to think. But I did have that question of, not that it matters once you're at the point of being full Medea, but it does matter a little bit, because I'm curious from the story point of view. Was it a series of events that you could see how it would drive the madness? Mm-hmm. Or was it simply that she lived an unexamined life, and when her husband left, she didn't know how to function?
I think I would lean towards that. This how, again, back to the beginning of this house has so many rules. She has self-imposed rules. No radios. The isolation finally got to her. And the fact that she's probably one night she went into a fugue state And I think I do believe that she doesn't remember killing her children.
Yeah, I think so too.
But she was so wound up, isolation, trying to keep up hope that the husband is coming home, even though he's probably not coming home. She probably just lost hope.
Well, she forces out all of the servants. She is fed up with their bullshit and like, you knew about this. Like, why, we'll find those curtains. I'll make you hang them and then you're fired.
She pulls a gun on him.
She pulls a rifle on these fucking servants. And they're like, okay, well, you can have the keys to the house. We are gone. Bye.
I love it. There's a really subtle thing that Fionnuala Flanagan does when, like, Nicole Kidman is, like, facing these three servants. She has a rifle, like, trained on them. Give me the keys. And Mrs. Mills puts out her hand the same level as the rifle and just kind of, like, gives her fingers just a little bit of a jiggle.
Yeah.
To be like, I dare you to take it. Like, just a little, like, it's not a taunt. It's just the whiff of a taunt, just a not overt, just a hint of I dare you.
Well, they are kicked out, and she says, "You know something, Mr. Tuttle? I've reached the end of my tether. I think we'd better uncover the gravestones."
Uh-oh. This is where I'm like, hey, writers, take note. Having multiple characters come to the arrival of the same plot point through two different avenues.
It's really cool.
I love it. To me, this is like class act.
I also like, by this point, I think we're pretty invested in the idea of these people are dead.
Yeah.
Everyone in this house is dead. But, like, what are the servants doing? Like, who did the moving? Because I think the twist of the ending isn't that Kidman and the kids are dead. That is the twist, like, inherently. But I think for me, like, the real twist is, who are the people living? Who are the others? Who are the intruders? And when we see, to me, it's like the visual twist. The seance scene, to me, is showing, not telling.
Yeah.
And it demonstrates it so beautifully. So even on this viewing, when those kids sneak out of the house at night because they want to go find daddy, and when they find those headstones, each time I watch it, I still think they're about to see their own names on the headstone.
Oh, yeah.
But what they see is Bertha Mills.
I know. That's like, again, that's 3 steps down the path.
And at the same time, Grace is upstairs in the attic, and she finds another one of those death photos from 1891. And it's Bertha, Lydia, and Mr. Tuttle.
And they did.
They be dead. They had that TB in 1891.
So now the incremental is ghosts exist. These people are ghosts. And I love this. Like, children come away from there. Nicole Kidman fires a gun at them. They just keep walking forward. She shuts the door. She locks the door. And then it's this shot of the 3 of them just standing at the window, like lit. It's very like Salem's Lot. But they're not trying to get in. And the sound of their voice is coming from inside the house, even though they're outside the house.
Yes.
Like, it kind of echoing through. So it's like unescapable for Grace, the voice of the crashing reality cry to be like, hey, lady.
Uh-huh.
So, Grace, we need to talk about the arrangements here.
Well, Grace is not really welcoming them in just yet. She's still a little bit freaked out. She has told the kids, oh no, they're coming for us. They're, thinking these servants. She tells the kids, run upstairs, lock yourself together. Don't separate. Good horror movie. She knows she's in a horror movie now. Do not separate. Lock yourselves and hide. But then the kids are upstairs hiding in the closet. And it's like, stop breathing that hard, Nicholas. Stop breathing. And she covers his mouth, but we still hear something.
Which again is like this idea of the children that are suffocated to stop breathing. Like, and also Anne in order to like get mom's goat, when she couldn't say anything, she starts breathing really loudly. So this idea of even breathing aggressively, like maybe that was the thing that drove Grace over the edge. My children are breathing too loud. I must quiet them, not realizing, oh, that will kill them.
The kids get out of the closet and they start hearing the voice saying, "Come with us, come to us, children." And it's the old lady voice. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. We are completely ahead of ourselves here, Cecil, because I skipped over the communion dress scene
confirmation
from earlier.
Yeah.
The confirmation scene. I got so consumed with this idea of finding
because that's what, I think it's like after Dad leaves, they're like, hey, let's keep occupied with activities. I'll let you try on your communion dress, which I just finished embroidering.
It looks like a bridal gown.
Mm-hmm. You're married to the church now. Okay, you can wear it for another hour. But again, it's like seeing Grace give her children a kindness. A leniency is so, but we know, because at this point it's like, well, Dad's out of here, so we got to make our own fun.
Yeah.
Just no sitting on the floor. Don't touch the walls.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
And when Grace comes back to Anne's room, she's like, okay, Anne, we got to get you out of the dress. You were allowed to play in the dress, but now you have to get it off. And she comes in there and she sees from behind Anne crouched over playing with her little marionette puppets.
Mm-hmm. Singing to herself.
It's just Anne's voice. But
I
then
thought I told you not to sit on the floor.
It's fine. It's not. The floor's clean. And then she sees Anne's hand, which is a old woman hand.
Full old lady in the dress, but it's Anne's voice. And again, it's like, oftentimes in horror movies, it's creepy, corpse-like old person, someone close to death, let's say, is a normal scare. But then it's a very jump out and grab you. Even in The Sixth Sense, it's like their motivation for grabbing them is different. It's not like, but in this, it's, what, Mommy? Why are you looking at me like that? And it's Grace who attacks. What have you done with my children? It's me. And she kind of like wrestles her down.
Chokes her.
Yeah.
To go back to the choking, breathing thing.
Yeah.
Tears that dress, too.
And now suddenly it is Anne.
Yeah.
And Mrs. Mills is like, okay, Mom is putting time out. Bad parent, time out.
Yeah, and when Bertha comes in and sees all of this, it's Anne saying she won't stop until she kills us. She wants to kill us. Mm-hmm. You're wicked. Mm-hmm. So, one quick, because we just got, my fault, but because I steered us wrong in the plot thing. I got so anxious to jump to the gravestone thing, but just a quick correction. So this all happens before Charles leaves. This is before Daddy goes away. It's just when Daddy is like...
It's just upstairs.
Daddy's in a mood. He's just upstairs. Okay. Yeah, he's scrolling,
He's in his man cave.
Yeah, and this is kind of when we have Bertha with Grace... And Bertha saying, you really do need to sleep more. Just get more rest. And you know what? Here's your pills. Wait, what are these pills? For your migraines, the same pills you always have.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Grace that chucks those pills down the drain. And this is when it's the starting point for the Charles leaving scene before they have sex. And then he
goes, sir.
He says, Anne told me what happened that.
That's right.
But he says, Anne told me what happened that day.
Yes.
Tell me it's not true.
Because Grace is like, she's been bad mommy, so she can't stop her daughter from seeing her father. Your father's resting. No.
And so there's a little bit of confusion because we just saw the communion dress scene. Mm-hmm. And because the film kind of plays with time of how many days have passed.
Yeah.
How long have we been here? So Anne told me what happened that day. Tell me it's not true. Tell me what happened. And she says, I don't know what happened. Just the servants left, and who knows why they left. I'm like, oh, I know why they left now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're like, well, no more work here, y'all.
Yeah. Mom gets a little wound up.
Well, and also, mom dead.
Yeah.
And children dead, and we don't get paid enough to clean this part of the house.
Yeah.
So that's that's where that happens.
The chronology.
Then we get into the curtains missing. Then we get into get out of my house. Then we get into we found the gravestones and we found the photo. And it's when the servants are at the door telling her, hey, we can all make this happen. We can all make this work. And then we hear the kids screaming upstairs. Oh, looks like the intruders found your children.
Oh, well, here we go.
So
what are you screaming about, kids?
Yeah.
I love this. It's just like a door opens and it's a whole set of people we've
never met.
Again, it's like with Charles, it's like the build up to these characters.
And this is we assume this is late 40s, maybe early, like not long after the war.
Yeah.
Based off of their dress and based off of the car we see at the end. But yeah, Bertha tells Grace, well, they found your kids, so you're going to have to go talk to them now.
Yeah.
And she is just reciting her Lord's Prayer with her little rosary and getting upstairs. And then we hear that woman from the other side of the door, why are you afraid, children? Speak to us. And when we open the door, we realize it's just a seance. Here we see the mommy and the daddy, no Victor, along with the old woman.
And she's auto-writing.
Uh-huh.
And her assistant is reading what the children are saying, which is what the psychic is hearing. And it's selected. It's mostly Anne. Mommy. Oh, shit. Mom's. Oh, we got all three of them here.
And what happened in this room? What did your mother do to you? And Anne goes up and whispers to the old woman something about a pillow. Is that how she killed you, with a pillow? No, we're not dead. Well, if you're not dead, why do you remain in the house?
We're not dead.
We're not dead.
It's like the repetition of the telephone game of like Anne saying it and then the man reading it. I love it. It's
so good because the seance scene we're so familiar with, but to see the ghosts in it, to get to see both the dead and the alive, the dead and the living, like existing together without being able to fully understand each other. It's just great. And at the end of this seance, after Grace comes in and like shakes the table and tears up the papers, and they witness all of this, we see just the living in the room. And the husband is like, wow, cool. Well, this was really informative. And the wife is like, we're leaving. We're not staying here.
Listen, I have made sacrifices for you before. Now you're going to take one. We're getting the fuck out of here tomorrow.
He's like, we don't know exactly what's going on. She goes, oh, the fuck we don't.
Yeah,
we're out
right?
now.
Yeah.
He's like, fine, tomorrow morning, first thing. I love this final, we get like kind of two monologues at the end. One is Grace to her children, holding them. And it's just her saying, I didn't understand at first why the pillow was in my hands and why you weren't moving. I just was holding a pillow and you weren't there. And then I got the rifle and I put it to my forehead and I pulled the trigger and nothing happened. Then I heard you laughing in the other room.
Yeah.
As if nothing had happened. And the Lord gave me a second chance. But where the fuck are we?
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Lydia asked that same question of me, Mrs. Mills.
Uh-huh.
And when I told her, she never spoke again. I wanted to tell you that before, like when we were, but you weren't ready to hear that.
Shall I make us a nice cup of tea? I mean, the intruders are gone. There's going to be others, but
we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out as we go.
Maybe you need to relax some about this whole doors closed, no curtains. Maybe you can let go of some of those self-imposed rules that you've put on yourself that led you to, I don't know, murder your children and yourself.
yeah, let's just loosen up a little bit. Just like everybody relax.
It doesn't have to be like a commune or anything. Just,
no.
People are going to do the dishes when they do the dishes. You got to chill out for a minute.
And they stand by the window open onto the light. And this is, we don't see sun, but it is a brighter light than we've seen during the movie.
It's like a sunny day.
Yeah, it's a sunny day. We can tell that it is
a normal day.
It's a normal day, yeah. She says, "This is our house." And the kids repeat it. And they all repeat, "This is our house.
Yeah.
We must protect this house."
Yeah.
And the kids realize, Mommy, we're in the light.
Yeah.
We can be in the light and it's fine. And they disappear we see the outer shot of the window that they're standing in. And we see them just kind of disappear.
And then it's
little
Victor.
Victor.
And like he sees it.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, there's fucking people and there's ghost people in this house. And Dad's like, come on, son, we're moving back to Kensington or wherever the fuck.
And he grows up and moves to Philadelphia and becomes a child psychiatrist.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. The end.
Yeah.
Shall we rate this film, Cecil?
Yes, let's.
All right, so how approachable is The Others if you are horror movie squeamish? Like I said at the beginning, this is very approachable. I usually give things a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being not approachable, say like Martyrs, and then 10 being very approachable, like Over the Garden Wall or Voyage of the Rock Aliens. But let's give The Others an 8 out of 10 approachability. Yeah. I think it's really approachable. Like you said, Cecil, no blood, no gore. The jump scares are there, but it's more about things being tightly wound and then release, as opposed to boom, something is in your face.
Yeah, it's more the inexplicable.
And this movie does tightly wound really, really well. So it's, I think about a movie like The Orphanage. Mm-hmm. But The Orphanage has like a higher creep factor than this movie.
I think it's really funny. I was thinking about the films of Guillermo del Toro versus this film, because they're both, like, this is kind of a Spanish director, and there is a similar love of the Gothic that they both have, but this is less creature feature, which Guillermo del Toro kind of loves, and he loves
Also, not Guillermo del Toro, The Orphanage. It's
really?
No.
What am I thinking of then?
It seems like it, but it is not him at all. I don't know if he was part of
Devil's Backbone.
Devil's Backbone, but
those
all
two
similar.
Movies, those two movies are kind of the same movie to me.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, totally. That's totally it. But yeah, no, the Gothic. I mean, and the Innocents as well.
Yeah.
And Woman in Black or whatever. Like, there's just like Gothic, spooky horror thing. But the thing about, I think bringing up Del Toro is a great point. The thing about Devil's Backbone or The Orphanage, there's a little bit more of the horror monster element to the ghost. Mm-hmm. And in this one, it's so classy because we don't see the ghost. It's all in our minds. It's all very British.
Yeah.
Even though it's a Spanish director. Yeah. Yeah, so 8 out of 10 approachability, ghostiness, jump scares. We don't see it. It's told to us that there was a murder-suicide, but I there you go. 8 out of 10 approachability. Speak nothing of approachability, Cecil. How do you rate this as a horror film?
I think 8 out of 10 keys to locked rooms is a good, because it's, listen, a friend of mine once said, there are films where the movie comes to you, and then there are films where you must lean into the movie. And this is one of those. Like, if you're in the mood to lean into a quiet film, this is a great one. If you're in the mood for something that, like, bam, 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 kind of gives you all the things, this is not that. But I don't know, it's peak Nicole Kidman.
Absolutely. Well, let's figure out what movie we will watch next. You've got a scare die, I've got a style die. We will roll those up and see what movie matches those two things. Cecil, on your scare die, if you roll a 1, our next movie scare is religion. 2, a monster. 3, a zombie. 4, family is the scare. 5, something with no legs. Or 6, haunted.
That's a 5.
No legs. That's, okay. I think, currently our longest thing on the list at 11 weeks.
Yeah.
We're going to get probably something fishy here is my guess. With no legs.
Or snaky.
Okay, so we're going to match no legs with the style I roll. If I roll a 1, wild card, whatever no-legged movie we want. 2, it's got to be the blank. 3, a European film. 4, it's got to be from the 1980s. 5, it's a sequel, prequel, or remake. Or 6, it is a suburban horror film. All right, so let's see what we got here. I got a 3. European, no legs.
I knew it.
Okay, listen. We only wrote down 1, but who knows? There might be people on Letterboxd who have things. And also, the one we wrote down, I think is going to be a good one.
Have you seen this movie?
No, but I'm really intrigued with.
Oh my gosh, we have 20 recommendations on Letterboxd.
Okay, great.
Okay, great.
See, Letterboxd, you're coming through for us. Okay, so the one I wrote down, is this a German film, I think? It's called The Lure. Are you familiar with The Lure? It
looks Polish or Czech.
Okay, yeah. Let's see. The Lure. It is Polish musical horror film.
About sirens and mermaids and things.
Yeah.
Fishtails.
A girl band.
Yeah. Fishtail girl band.
The Wikipedia page says, based on The Little Mermaid by Hans Christian Andersen, which I think it does loosely follow that structure when you think about losing your voice.
Look at this stuff.
Yeah.
Isn't it neat?
Also, that original text goes a lot harder than the Disney film, as is true of all of those stories. So I'm very interested in The Lure, but that was the only one we knew. Ooh. See, so what did people on Letterboxd have to say about no legs?
I feel ashamed of myself.
Okay.
Because we have quite a few people recommending one of my favorite movies. I can't believe I didn't. And that's Lair of the White Worm.
Oh, that's a good... So now, I actually thought of this movie, and I left it off because I was like, she has legs, but then she doesn't have the legs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess these girls, too, in The Lure are... Yeah.
Oof.
Okay, no, that's a very good one. If we're going to count mermaids who get their legs to do this, whatever,
I think it should count.
Okay.
UK-US co-production, takes place in Scotland, as Max Bird points out. And it's people in a small Scottish village find a worm, W-Y-R-M.
Yep.
And
Hugh Grant's first
Hugh Grant,
movie?
Peter Capaldi is in it. And this mysterious lady comes to town who needs young men to live, let's say.
Don't we all do, Cecil?
Don't we all
do?
Let's see what else we got here, though. Eve Frankenstein recommends The Last Shark, a crappy Italian remake of Jaws, where some of the victims also end up legless. And the last film Vic Morrow made with an intact head.
Oh, damn,
poor
Vic. R.I.P., buddy.
Monstrum recommends The Borderlands / Final Prayer, a UK film known by either name when searching, found footage film about Vatican investigators looking into reports of demonic activity in the British West Country. But what they find is hard to swallow. It sounds demonic, but trust me, it is not. A true twist ending. Ooh, what a lovely write-up, Monstrum, without giving away the ending. And they also recommend The Killer Condom, 1996 Germany. Okay, this is the movie's Letterboxd description. In New York City, Detective Luigi Macaroni.
Oh no.
Luigi Macaroni.
Can I just say, I don't think you can be racist against Italians, but that character name makes me question that statement. If you could, you just were.
They were. Luigi investigates a string of mysterious penile mutilations at the Hotel Quickie. After Macaroni attempts to have a tryst with a gigolo he meets in the lobby, a carnivorous condom bites off his right testicle and flees, which sets the detective off on a quest to stop the predatory prophylactic once and for all.
I'm sorry, I blacked out for the last 90 seconds.
Is this a secret LGBTQ plus film?
Maybe.
From 1996 from Germany. I'm in. Temmie Silver recommends Final Prayer 2013. Oh, Temmie Silver also has, I love this, Temmie. Thinking outside the box. Threads 1984.
I love this reasoning.
Nuclear bombs do not have legs.
That is true.
You
That's
know
very
what?
true.
Asked and answered. Sarah Kendall recommends Island of Terror 1966. They say they're once again pitching this Peter Cushing versus the indestructible, self-replicating bone vampire turtle slugs. Couldn't find specific info on where it was made, but all signs point to the UK. I would probably agree with them, Peter Cushing. Half Price Horror recommends Kaltiki, the Immortal Monster. It's a blob with no legs. It's very Italian, and it's an early work of director legend Mario Bava.
Okay. I've not heard of this at
Yeah,
all.
that's real deep cut there. Bugava Hugva recommends Cruel Jaws from 1995, the unsanctioned Italian Jaws sequel. Did I say that one already?
No, it's...
Oh, The Last Shark. There's apparently a few unsanctioned Jaws sequels.
Italian.
Yeah.
Yep.
Auntie Energy recommends Little Joe from 2019, an Austrian, German, UK film about Alice, a single mother and a senior plant breeder at a corporation who creates a plant that makes its caretakers happy. After bringing one of the plants home for her son, she starts noticing some rather sinister side effects.
Okay. Love a killer plant story.
Mesaw 7 recommends A Cure for Wellness. Businessman is sent to pick up his company's CEO from a mysterious wellness spa located in the isolated Swiss Alps. Filmed in Germany and Switzerland, very gothic in tone. Definitely involves some legless creatures in a sickening capacity.
Okay.
Ahab's left leg. Oh, no, we've seen In Fabric. Ahab's left
No.
leg?
We saw Slacks. We haven't seen In Fabric.
Shit. Okay. A cursed dress torments any lonely soul who puts it on. You're right.
That's a good call, because this is a garment without legs, as Ahab's left leg says. Okay, good one.
Yeah, I love it. And finally, King and Commoner recommends Under Paris 2024. A giant bull shark moves into the Seine. Oh my God. Just in time for a triathlon.
What?
It's all the hallmarks of a modern shark movie. Sharks where they shouldn't be, a traumatized shark expert, and incompetent bureaucracy.
Oh,
This sounds like
they shouldn't be.
This sounds like French Prey, except a shark, not a lion.
Yeah.
Wow, we're all over the map here. And by that map, I mean the map of Europe.
So clearly, Lair of the White Worm
I know.
is a front runner.
Yeah.
The Lure has some
It's got some
plus
people pulling.
ones, and I've been curious about it for a while. I love a
But
horror
honestly,
musical.
There's quite a few people pulling for Killer Condom as well.
Killer Condom looks bonkers. It doesn't... That description made it sound LGBTQ-y, but it doesn't...
I mean, listen,
It looks campy.
I would trust a German queer movie made in 1996 over an American queer movie made in 1996 any day of the week.
It's... Oh, God, it looks so disgusting. It's just teeth, but it's on a condom.
Oh, my God. So the question is, do we want to watch a good movie?
Do we want to watch a gross movie that's
Do we want
silly?
to watch a campy movie? Do we want to watch a serious movie? Or do we want to watch a seriously campy movie? Because I think where Lair of the White Worm is, it's
campy.
definitely has some camp to it, but
Yeah.
it's taking itself pretty seriously as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think...
Honestly, the Italian shark movies are probably bottom of the barrel for me.
I really want to watch them, but I think maybe not yet. I think they're just going to be truly bad.
Yeah.
The other one that got some upvote, or got
In
one
Fabric?
upvote, but it's interesting, is In Fabric,
Yeah.
because it's a garment, and it's not pants, it's a dress.
Yeah.
I've heard mixed things about In Fabric, about how
Okay.
good the movie is. I mean, that doesn't mean we shouldn't watch a movie just because it's not 99% on Robbie T's, but...
A couple, and also like two people recommended Final Prayer / The Borderlands,
Okay, yeah.
which I love the kind of like, is it a demon or is it something else that apparently does not have legs? And then also, wait, where was the Island of Terror, Peter Cushing versus self-replicating bone vampire turtle slugs? I think we have 6 we can put on a dice
Good.
here.
Here's the problem.
Yeah.
Killer Condom is kind of available to watch, but you probably, if you don't have Canopy, and even Canopy is going to be inconsistent, you either need...
Oh, yeah. Trauma Now.
Fossum or Trauma Now.
Or Plex.
So that one's a little tough. Here's the thing I'll say. We could roll, but I do think if we say Killer Condom is going to be a little tough for watching, I do think the excitement of that rolled die.
Yeah.
There's one that I want more than the others on there, and that's Lair of the White Worm.
Oh, really? Okay.
Listen, I love Ken Russell. We've had so much luck with Ken Russell. Are we being too much Ken Russell stans on this show?
I don't think so.
I don't think so
that's
either.
Honestly, there's even more Ken Russell that I want to make us watch.
Yeah. And no one can consistently keep The Devils online for longer than like 2.5 weeks.
Lord.
So
I've
someday.
also been trying to get Gothic on this show for a hot minute.
I just think it's the most intriguing movie to me. I think there's a lot going on in Lair of the White Worm.
Yeah.
It is, I believe, still available in the world. I think it's an HBO thing. No, Prime.
Okay, great.
Prime, Tubi, Hoopla, Apple.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's wherever.
I mean, I'm curious about the lure.
This is true. The lure is more of the spirit of European film because it is Polish and not English.
And I think it's also like has the contemporary pull.
Yeah.
You know, like it's made within the last few years, so it's going to be a more current sensibility of horror.
Yes.
But here's the thing. Lair of the White Worm, I think it's based on a Bram Stoker short story. So, like, again, sticking with the Gothic horror.
Yeah.
I will gladly watch Lair of the White Worm any day of the week, Jeffrey.
I think let's get the movies we want to see when we have the chance to see them.
And sure, she has legs sometimes.
She knows
but sometimes she doesn't.
No, sometimes she doesn't have to. Sometimes she doesn't have to.
Is it a cheat? I don't care. Let's do it.
It's not. It's cheating a little on both, but it is the letter of the law. It is European.
Yeah.
And there is a creature that does not have legs.
That's right.
Right? There's no like lizard legs on the back of her, right?
No,
it's all snaky.
It's a worm. It's a worm.
Worm, snaky body.
Snakes and ladders.
That's right. Snakes and ladders. Let's cheat. Let's watch the movie we want to watch.
It's our cheat day.
Right. It's our cheat day. Tomorrow, tomorrow is leg day. So let's get it while we can. Oh.
Let's do it.
Okay, so thank you all for listening. Thank you, Cecil, for talking with me. And if you have thoughts on the others or ideas for movies that would have been good, No Legs Monster meets European film, let us know at Random Horror 9 on Blue Sky, Instagram, or on our Patreon, where we have public discussion threads for each episode, and you don't have to be a paying member to participate in those. So watch Lair of the White Worm from 1986?
88.
88 with us this week, and come on back next Tuesday for a new episode. Have a restful night with no one stealing your curtains or nothing. Boo.
Boo.
Random Number Generator Horror Podcast number 9 is hosted by me, Jeffrey Craner, and Cecil Baldwin. Find more of our work on the podcast Welcome to Night Vale. This show is produced by Night Vale Presents. It is edited by me with music by Cecil and logo by David Baldwin. See original artwork for each episode by David on Instagram. Join us for live streams on Patreon. Watch our recording sessions on YouTube. Chat with us on Blue Sky. And contribute to our movie selection process on Letterboxd. We're in all of those places at Random Horror 9. Today's scary story. You hear creepy noises at night inside your old mansion. Curse that contractor, you say. He never finished the punch list. Ooh, says the contractor, who is a ghost.